Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Sheen, your host. This is Money Matters. Today we're talking about Square, but more specifically, we're going to talk about Cash App within Square. Cash App is the most interesting thing about Square. It's where a lot of the growth is. And I think, in my opinion, Cash App is the key for Square to move into the next level. So stay tuned and we're going to break down and get more in depth with Cash App. But first of all, if you like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing, give a thumbs up, it really helps out the channel, push this YouTube algorithm, spreads my channel to other people. Check out my other videos and consider subscribing. I do a lot of videos about money, finance, how to grow your money, how to invest your money, how to make money work hard for you. All right, let's get started. All right, so real quick, we're just gonna look over the numbers of Square from their current report, from their Q1 2020 report that was just released a few days ago. Boring, blah, blah, blah. About $1.38 billion in total revenue. That's 44% year-over-year growth. Due to the whole illness 19 situation, that number could have been bigger. Gross profit, 36% year-over-year growth at $539 million. The bottom line, net income, saw a loss of $106 million. The quarter before, they had $391 million, but $373 million of that was due to their sale of Caviar, which was their food delivery service. They're pretty much on par from the last 5 quarters, up a few million, down a few million. Q1 of 2020 saw a bigger loss, obviously because of illness 19, no surprise there. Gross payment volume was up 14% year over year. GPV mix was 52%. For larger sellers. Adjusted EBITDA was $9 million, which was a negative 85% loss year over year. So a lot of the numbers are not very impressive, but net income still was not very impressive. So no surprise in their numbers. The whole illness 19 situation happened. A lot of Square's customer base is small and medium-sized businesses, and a lot of those businesses have been shut down. So no surprise on these numbers. I expect their Q2 numbers to be even worse because Q1 only had 1 month of this whole shutdown in it. Basically, we started shutting down in March. Q2 is going to have April, May, and June in it, and so we'll see what happens in Q2, but I suspect that their numbers are going to be even worse. But anyways, boring stuff out of the way, let's talk about Cash App. Cash App is what's most exciting about Square. So first of all, Square did a big push during this whole illness 19 situation for direct deposits. Square was able to get a lot of people their money a lot faster than traditional banks with their direct deposit for their stimulus checks. So here in the direct deposits, I'll read this. We expanded direct deposit eligibility from approximately 3 million customers in February to approximately 14 million customers in mid-April. So Cash App is consistently in the top 10 of the App Store. Here it is in the Apple App Store, number 9 amongst all the big boys, Snapchat, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix. Among the top 10, they're with the big boys. They're really popular. So here is Cash App, number 1 in finance apps, and 338,000 rating. And here it is in the Google Play Store, roughly 166,000. So in April, they saw roughly 2 million downloads worldwide. They had an A+ rating from Sensor Tower. If you don't know what Sensor Tower is, basically you can go there, sensortower.com, put in any app, and they give you some stats on the app, how much has been downloaded, its rating, and etc. So what is so interesting about Cash App? After all, we have PayPal, we have Venmo. Probably those are the 2 biggest players, and PayPal is Venmo, they're one company, but that's probably the biggest player. But Cash App is on the heels of Venmo and looking to take them over. There's other payment things, but there's probably Zelle you could send through your banks, but honestly, that they're just played out. No one really uses Zelle. The next generation pretty much uses Venmo or Cash App. That's like number 1 and number 2. So basically, you can send money peer-to-peer. You go to a restaurant or whatever, you split the check, you can send your money to your friends, send money to the babysitter, whatever it is. So it's free to send money within the platform. From your checking account, it's free. If you have a balance in your Cash App, that's free. So sending peer-to-peer, for the most part, is free. You could buy stocks within the Cash App. You could buy Bitcoin within the Cash App. You have direct deposit now with Cash App. So all the stimulus check money, you could just have a routing number, provide to the government, provide to your employer, and the checks will be directly deposited. You could provide it to your employer, and you have your paychecks directly deposited into Cash App. So they're trying to have the whole ecosystem, everything in one platform. Because think about it, like currently, You know, you get your paycheck probably deposited into a big bank, as like I do. I have my paycheck deposited into a big bank. If I needed the money, I probably have to go to ATM, get out the cash. If I wanted to buy stocks, I'll have to transfer money out of my checking account into my brokerage account and get stocks. If I want to transfer that money back out and use it, I probably have to transfer it out of my brokerage account back into my checking account so I can swipe my debit card or, you know, make payments. So it's like transferring in and out of one system in order to use it. That's pretty much how it is for everyone nowadays. But from the bank standpoint, from let's say Square standpoint, if the money stays in one ecosystem, you see that it never leaves. That's a huge plus for the bank or for Square or, you know, for whatever institution. If the money never leaves, that's money that's still in their ecosystem and that they could be using. So I mean, it may not make a big difference for the end user. It's pretty easy nowadays to transfer money in and out of accounts. You do it all online and everything. But when it comes to the institution, that is a big deal because anytime money gets transferred out, they are losing that money that they could be investing, they could be using for something else. Like every time I take money out of my checking account and transfer it into my brokerage account, that's money that essentially the bank loses. They're not able to use that money to do their investments. But if it's all in one ecosystem, like Square is doing, like Cash App is doing, you have your money coming from your employer into Cash App with direct deposit. If you want to buy stocks, you can still buy stocks within the ecosystem, so that money doesn't leave. If you want to buy Bitcoin, you can buy Bitcoin within the ecosystem, and so that money never leaves the Cash App. It's still there. Just because you move it into different places, in Square's eyes and Cash App's eyes, that money is still there. That money is still there for them to use, for them to invest, for them to do whatever they want with it. So as long as it stays in the ecosystem, then Square is able to use that money. And so that is a big deal. Another thing that they're doing is even internationally, it doesn't have to leave the ecosystem. So currently they're expanding their cross-border payments. So in March, Cash App launched cross-border payments, enabling customers to instantly transfer money between US and UK using real-time exchange rates with no fees. Cash App provides an efficient digital alternative for customers to transfer money, which is greatly faster and cheaper than most banks, retail money transfer services, and other apps. So again, transferring money into pounds, into a different currency, it still stays in the ecosystem. It still stays in the Cash App. So imagine if you go to UK, from my UK friends, if you come to the US, you'll never have to transfer, you don't have to exchange money, you don't have to pay any fees. You can do everything in the Cash App. And if Cash App is widely accepted in the future in restaurants, in bars or nightclubs or whatever it is, movie theaters, you mean essentially you could come from another country, have money within your Cash App account, spend it, and never have to transfer rates, never have to pay any fees. And you go back home and the cash is still there. It would eliminate the need for banks. You wouldn't have to transfer money. You have basically everything you need within the Cash App. And that's the key. That is what Cash App is trying to aim for. So during the stimulus payments and tax refunds, Cash App was well positioned to help individuals efficiently access deposits and use stimulus funds distributed by the government. Their direct deposit product provides customers with a unique routing number and account number that allows them to deposit their stimulus funds, tax refunds, or paychecks directly into their Cash Apps. Primarily driven by their stimulus payments, Cash App achieved its highest direct deposit volume the month of April, as volumes increased approximately 3x compared to March. So in April, they did a huge push trying to get people to use Cash App, and they have the direct deposit. So basically you just sign up for Cash App, say that you want direct deposits. They give you your individual routing number and account number, and that's what you give to your employer or give to the government, and they're able to deposit money, your stimulus check, right into the Cash App. So how much money is Cash App bringing in? So excluding Bitcoin, just Cash App by itself, revenue was $222 million, up 98% year over year. And then additional $306 million was revenue from Bitcoin. So total revenue again was $222 million from Cash App, $306 million for Bitcoin, for a total of $528 million just from Cash App. Gross profit was $183 million from Cash App. So how many potential customers, what is the growth that Cash App could see? Essentially the question is, how many US customers could there be? Or customers that don't have a bank or don't trust a bank or don't want to use a bank, how many of them are there out there? So take a look at this map. This is from 2017. This is the latest data that I could find. So basically everywhere that is dark blue, it's at least 21% of that state's population are underbanked. So what does that mean? pretty much it means they either just have a savings account and not a checking account, or vice versa, or one or the other, or they just basically have an account but there's no transactions in the account. Essentially, they have an account that's not used. So a lot of people don't use banks, traditional banks. Now, if you look at how many people that don't use a bank at all, that just completely don't have any accounts, so all the dark blue again is roughly 8% of those states, the people do not have banks, do not use any banks. So if you just crunch the numbers, roughly let's just take 7%, be a little conservative. If 7% of the population in Texas do not use banks at all, that's roughly 2 million people just in Texas alone. So I would say there's at least 100 million customers that are unbanked or underbanked. And that's just people that don't use banks, but a lot of the younger generation is pretty much transitioning out of these big banks and using Venmo or Cash App. So it could be more than 100 million potential customers that Cash App could have. All right, I'm gonna play a few seconds of Jack Dorsey talking about Cash App on the latest conference call. He's gonna talk about basically Cash App, what I just said. They're trying to have this ecosystem where nobody has to leave the ecosystem, and so all the money stays within Cash App. All the money never leaves. They're essentially seeing people using Cash App as their main account. Basically, they could do everything from the account. They can have their employer pay them into the Cash App. They could spend it. They could, send money to friends and family. They could send money to internationally to UK and in other countries in the future. They could pay for things. They could buy stocks. They could buy Bitcoin. So he's going to talk about how a lot of people are considering Cash App to be their #1 account or their only account.
Putting it up front so that people know that this is a tool that can be used for tax, for your stimulus, for your paycheck at your job is critical, and that does lead to people seeing Cash App ultimately as a primary account, not needing to go to a bank branch, simply going to the App Store, signing up, and they're in business. And it's not just around peer-to-peer and storing money and using it on a card, but the people who are using that money to buy equities, using the investing product, and also buy Bitcoin, has been pretty incredible. So this is part of the reason why we think the ecosystem strategy is so strong. We're not just a peer-to-peer app. We're not just a stock purchasing app. We're not just a Bitcoin app. We have everything in one.
All right, guys, I'm going to take you into Cash App, show you the interface, basically what you can do with it. Pretty simple interface. You could send money to people, request money, pay money. Here is your cash tag, so anybody can scan it. If you want to send money to me, I'll definitely take it. There's my cash tag. There is a debit card that you could have. With the debit card, they have these boost savings. So with the boost, if you use your debit card, you can select these boost options. They'll give you like 10% off DoorDash, 10% off any grocery store purchases, and then these change every day. If you go in Walmart and you want to use your debit card, you're going to save 10% right there. So these things again change every day. So why not save 10% on whatever you're gonna buy? So here is your routing number. So you have your routing number and your account number. You're going to be able to have direct deposits directly deposited into your Cash App. You can buy stocks. So here are stocks. So you could choose any stock like Coca-Cola. It's pretty simple. Simple to use interface. You could look at the map, look at the prices. You can look at the prices, the chart. Tells you a little bit about the company. We'll just go with Tesla. So you can see the stock chart, see the price movement, 1 day, 1 month, 1 year. It tells you a little bit about the company. So if you hit buy, you could spend as little as $1 up to however much you want. So you just basically put how much you want to spend and hit next. Does Face ID, and it'll tell you, so since the market is closed right now, it will be $500, and so funding source, 196 of it will come out of my Cash App, and the remaining will come out of my checking account. So there's no fees, of course, so $500 exactly what I'm going to pay for it. You could buy Bitcoin, so whatever Bitcoin is currently trading at, you could buy Bitcoin however much you want to purchase it. Again, anything you want, any amount you want, you just enter it in there and you'll be able to buy Bitcoin. So pretty much that's it, guys. Really simple to use interface. You could do so much with it. They're going to be adding a lot more features. One feature that I definitely do want to see is a way to be able to deposit checks. If you get a check, you could just take a picture and just deposit it directly into Cash App. I like to see that definitely in the future. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's my video. If you don't have Cash App yet, consider getting it. Use my link in the description below. You'll get $5 and I'll get $5, and you can try out Cash App. Thank you for watching, guys. Give me a thumbs up, really helps out the channel. Consider subscribing if you haven't yet already. Check out my other videos. I do a lot of videos about money, finance, how to grow your money, how to invest your money, how to make money work hard for you. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Peace.